All right, how's it going? So we're gonna go left to right. I want you to introduce yourself
I'm Troy.
and where you stand politically.
I'm Troy, and I'm a liberal.
Okay.
I'm Bill, and I stay as close to the middle as I can.
All right.
I'm Don, I'm conservative.
All right, Don. All right, so Don, I'm gonna start with you. Please explain why you do or do not support the Affordable Care Act.
I do not support the Affordable Care Act. I think the Affordable Care Act was a political power grab to see how many people we could put on to a social program, which was in the millions, so that they could grab, the Democrats could grab 20 million votes, and that they could use that to leverage votes in the future. And in the meantime, it killed the middle class, and it crippled the middle class's ability to get affordable health care. Actually, that was affordable because they couldn't afford the deductibles and the premiums that were placed on it. So I did not like that.
All right, and I'm gonna jump over to you, Troy. What's your opinion?
Well, I would say respectfully, that sounds like something that you would see on InfoWars. It sounds like conspiracy theory. The Affordable Care Act has allowed for people who were unable to receive health care that all of us take for granted. It allowed for people who are struggling to find employment after graduating from college to be able to receive health care under our parents' plan. And it also allowed for people with pre-existing conditions who need to have health care options provided to them without going into financial ruin. It helps to do that, and that's a wonderful thing that it's been able to do for so many people in our society.
What's your opinion, Bill?
Well, I can again see both sides of this issue. The only problem I have with it is it should have never been a tax on people who did not get it. I can see giving it or making it affordable for everybody. I can see I can see both sides, but it should have never been a tax.
Right, like a penalty.
Yeah, which again, they came out and said it wasn't a tax, but that's what it was. I hear phones ringing.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay, next question. Troy, I'll start with you this time. In your opinion, what are the most important challenges that are facing our country, and how do you propose to address those challenges?
By far and away, the most important, I would say, is civil rights and civil liberties. We are a nation that's divided in many respects, and we need to embrace everyone's diversity. We need to hold government that get out of hand accountable for actions that they take, particularly against minority communities. And we also need to be more accepting of groups that have been alienated for decades and generations. I mean, you know, we've made a lot of progress in the last 8 years in extending an open hand to minority groups that have been oppressed, but we have a lot of work to go.
Thank you for that. And Don, since I know you stand pretty much opposite of where he does, I want to give you a chance to rebut that and in his opinion.
Not sure what he said.
No, I mean, civil liberties, I think a lot of that's been established. Women's rights been established. There's nobody suffering from any kind of discrimination in my view at this point. If you're
In your view as a white male?
Yes, in my view as any male or any female, if you have the acumen and you have the education and you have the ability to go out and get a good job and work, then in many cases you can point out 1,000 cases of anybody, such as President Obama. If you can community organize, you can be president. It's that easy. So he did it. Lots of people can do it. I think the biggest challenge is that we have unchecked immigration. We have unchecked illegal immigration, we have drugs and then illegals flowing across our borders.
Right. You know what? I'm going to stop you there. I'm sorry. I'm going to get to immigration here in a second. I just wanted you to rebut against what he was saying. But you did bring up a point when you said, you know, a Caucasian male. Do you not feel as if Caucasian males, specifically law enforcement, are not being discriminated against and targeted right now?
That I don't feel.
Do you
males?
feel like that?
I think that white males have significant privilege in our society based on systematic issues that have wanted them to maintain power over generations. I mean, if you look at every one of our presidents, except for the last one, they've all been white males. If you look at major CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, the vast majority are white males. I mean, it speaks for itself.
Okay. But like he said, we just had an African American president.
1 out of 45. So, I mean, that's progress, absolutely. But we still have a long way to go. We have a long way to go in having a first woman president, having the first Muslim president, the first, you know, name your minority group that hasn't been represented at the table. We still need a first for them.
Okay.
Can I rebut that really quick?
Sure.
I don't think it's about a black being a president, a female being a president, a Muslim being a president. It's always about going after the highest quality person that you can get. And if we split people up and we segregate them and we say, well, we got to get one of these and we got to get one of these and we got to get one of these, then you don't get the best people. So if you want the best people, then you go get the best people. And if the best people happen to be of a certain color, black, red, yellow, then you want to go get the best people who can do the best job, who are the best trained, the best qualified, and the best educated. And we shouldn't be race shopping for any political positions or any positions corporately or otherwise.
Thank you.
Or gender shopping.
You know, it's one of those issues that if you're not careful, there's too many labels. You know, I just don't understand why we can't all just get along sometimes. I mean, there's, you know, all these divisions and putting labels on people and stuff like that. I just, you know, we were all created and all created equal, and we ought to just forget about some of that stuff.
Okay. Don, since you mentioned it, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the first go on this one. But here's my question. Well, if I can find it. Okay, here we go. You've already explained how you feel, but I'm going to ask the question fully. Please explain how you do, or how you would change U.S. immigration policies, or why you believe U.S. immigration policies do not need to be changed.
Well, I mean, the immigration policy on the books is pretty clear, and it just hasn't been followed. I mean, if you're here illegally, you get deported. If you follow the laws that are on the books, then the population that's here illegally wouldn't be here. They would be, you know, deported. It started with Reagan, and he had a major group of people that he gave amnesty to. And I'm not. This is where I kind of sat on the fence a little bit. I don't want to tear families apart. You know, I want to. If it was me, you would have to have a legal citizen and you have a baby to have a legal citizen baby. 2 illegals can't have a legal. That doesn't make sense to me. So I would change that. And then the people here, I would go case by case. There's a lot of good people here who are working, who are paying taxes, mostly through sales tax. I think there's most of the people who are here illegally get paid on the table. So they're not contributing, they're a burden to our hospitals, they're a burden to our communities as far as school. In so many ways, they're costing us a lot of money, and there's a lot of them here that are not good people that are doing us harm in various ways. So I would take a hard line on following the rules and the laws that are laid out that we already have on the books towards immigration. But I think our immigration system is fatally flawed, and it's tremendously hard to get into the country. It's about money to get into the country. It's about getting lawyers to get into the country. And I think all that should be streamlined. And you get good people in, which America, last I heard, had let over 5 million people in the last 10 years, which was triple any other country. So, I think America's doing a lot to let people in. But, you got to follow the visas. You got to follow when they run out. You got to get people out when their time's up. And you got to get the illegals that are here, and first and most primary, the ones that are have committed any crimes or any felonies or they have any record. You got to get them out, and they got to be gone and not come back.
Troy, I'm going to get to you. Bill, you haven't had very much to say so far, so I'm going to give you a chance to speak. How do you feel about that?
Well, but again, I think that there needs to be an immigration policy, and I think it needs to. I think there needs to be some way to register people when they come in. I think the problem is it's too difficult. I think that again the government has put layer upon layer upon layer and made it too difficult. I think that needs to be streamlined, and I think if it was streamlined, that I think the people coming in would have an easier time registering either as alien workers or citizenship. I think we've got, once again, that would be, the issue. I don't think that, I don't think you can open the borders up to everybody. I don't know any country that does.
And then, Troy, we'll get you. So, what do you think about it?
Well, I think it's incredibly insensitive and short-minded to call a human being an illegal, or to call families and children a burden. These are human beings. And I would also say that, I was an anthropology major, and I actually was able to trace my family lineage back to find that my ancestors came over on the Mayflower. At that time, there was no immigration system. They were able to come over here and thrive, and so too can individuals and families from other countries, particularly if they're in most dire need. If they're a refugee that's in a war-torn area where their families are being torn apart, they're being killed, we need to, with the resources we have and with the ability to be compassionate, help those people come in, integrate into our society, and then when they do that, they bring in new ideas, new thoughts, new ways of furthering our society. And
Such as Sharia law.
are you an Islamophobe? Are you serious?
All right, we're getting off topic. Okay, so let's say, I do have a question for you though. So, how do you feel about the fact that these refugees and these illegal aliens are undocumented? They can't be tracked, or they don't have to pay the same taxes. They don't suffer the same punishments as far as crimes and stuff. And the majority of the time, they just get deported. They don't have to actually face up to those crimes. And another thing, the fact that how do you feel about illegal immigrants being able to walk into a hospital, receive the care that they need, but then not have to pay for anything?
Well, that's precisely why I'm for universal health care. I mean, we need to radically change health care in our country to where we do provide free health care, regardless of what your immigration status is. And we need to provide decent humanity to everyone. How are we going to afford that? Well, we pay taxes to be able to fund that. And I think that's just the decent human thing to do.
Okay. I have one more question, and then we'll conclude. And Bill, since you haven't started us off, I'll let you. What's your opinion on Trump's recent decisions regarding the use of the Moab bomb and Tomahawk missiles in Syria?
Well, I would think that I know less about the security issues that the President of the United States does, so that I would have to, you know, it's hard to explain whether I'm all